Hey everyone, as always, thank you very much for checking out today's video. So in this one, I want to shed some light on this, which is the Hagstrom Viking Baritone Deluxe. And I've done what I usually do. So we've got a montage of a few different clips. There's some different styles, different pickup configurations, different tones. So I'll bring all the settings up on the screen so we can see kind of how the guitar's being used and what we're doing to kind of sit the guitar in the mix in each track. And then once we've done that, I'll run us through the specs and I'll talk us through a little bit of kind of behind the scenes info on the guitar. One thing I will say on the montage is that I've tried to go for a few different styles, so there's some heavier stuff and some not so heavy stuff. If there is a particular style in a clip that doesn't really resonate with you, if you jump on 20-30 seconds, then you should find something that kind of suits you a bit more stylistically. Okay, so I've heard a few different tones there, and something I want to start by mentioning, just for maybe anyone who's not played baritone before, is maybe unfamiliar with the concept of a baritone. We're essentially tuned halfway between a guitar and a bass, so standard tune on a guitar is E to E, here I'm B to B. We can get other tunings, there's C to C and A to A, and I suppose really you could tune it however you wanted, but I think B standard's probably the most common one we get on baritone. And what this means is I can take all my usual chords and scales and play them as I normally would, except they'll sound a few keys lower. And this is part of the reason why so many people find them useful songwriting tools, because sometimes just hearing those chords in a different register or a different context than we normally would can send you on a different creative path than if you played the same thing on an acoustic instrument, or sorry, a standard tuned instrument. So that's one real kind of perk of baritones that a lot of people find. Moving on to the specs now. Anyone who's familiar with Hagstrom will recognise this as one of their Viking series. So we've got semi-hollow construction with centre block down the middle. The body is maple, and we've got hardtail bridge on this one, and I know this is something that Hagstrom have experimented with quite a bit. As having spoken to the guys there, one of the main things they told me was that they really wanted to achieve, and I do think they definitely did on this guitar, was create an instrument that is kind of genre spanning. So you can play heavy stuff on it, you can play clean stuff on it, and a lot of their Viking models have a trapeze tailpiece, which is the floating one, and they told me that with the thicker strings and the lower resonance that we get from the guitar, it was moving the trapeze tailpiece more than the standard tuned options, which is why they've opted for the hardtail one here. Again, it probably also facilitates more aggressive playing styles, again adding to that kind of versatility goal. We've got P9 pickup in the neck and humbucker in the bridge, which again adds to your versatility. If you're doing heavy stuff and you're playing with a lot of distortion, you're probably going to want a humbucker in the bridge to kind of do your chugging. P90 is really good for kind of warmth and articulation. If you're doing like finger-picked clean chords, that was something I really enjoy, having a P90 in the neck. Whether it's on a baritone or standard guitar, I like this configuration. We've got three-way switching, and as you would expect with a three-way two pickup, we've got volume, volume, tone, tone. So onto the neck now, we've got, as you would expect for an instrument that sits in between guitar and bass, slightly longer scale length, so it's 28-inch scale length on this one. We've got 22 frets. It's Canadian hard maple, the neck we've got on here, on a 15-inch radius, so that's pretty flat for this one. And then we've got Hagstrom tuners at the top end. So that's all the specs on this guitar. If you did enjoy the video, please do click like and subscribe, and if you've got any questions, let me know in the comment section. And all that remains to say is thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.